Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back, baby. We are back. We are back. We are back like we never left, man. We are back. Just want to welcome y'all to the show. Took a little hiatus because we was, you know, in high school mode. So now you're gonna see a lot more legendary players, coaches, officials, and everybody that have to do with basketball on Basketball Heads. Tonight, we got a special show. So sit back and let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to High School Basketball Weekly. No, this is not High School Basketball Weekly. This is Basketball Heads. We are back, baby, with another one. This basketball head is a North Babylon High School legend and Iona University Hall of Fame inductee. At North Babylon, he was a 3-year starter in high school. All Long Island, all New York State, all American. To top it off, this basketball head was nationally recruited in football and track, so you already know he was a superior athlete. After being highly recruited, he decided to take his talents to Iona University, where he played for the late legendary coach, Jim Valvano. At Iona, this basketball head helped Iona reach 2 NCAA tournament appearances. He also became an Iona University Hall of Famer, as well as becoming a top 10 all-time leading scorer. In 1980, he was drafted by the Boston Celtics, but suffered a career-ending injury. Once his basketball career was over, this basketball head became a broadcaster for ESPN. He did player development. He was a basketball camp lecturer. He coached college and high school basketball, and he was the director of an AAU program. So it goes to say, he did it all when it comes to this thing that we know and love called basketball. Besides wearing many hats, he helped his son become an all-city player at Malloy and a Holy Cross University legend, and a professional overseas. His son is now a 2-time city championship coach at Eagle Academy High School in Brooklyn. This basketball head family tree is also extended to his granddaughter, who is a star player at Holy Cross High School in Queens. So, the family legacy continues. Without further ado, help me welcome to the show, North Babylon High School legend, Iona College Hall of Fame inductee, the Town of Babylon Hall of Fame inductee, Suffolk County Hall of Fame and New York Basketball Hall of Fame inductee, Kevin Hamilton, Senior.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
Welcome to the show, people. I'm your host, Glenn Poole Harding, and we're now going to bring on our guest, Mr. Kevin Hamilton, Senior. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Kev? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, Pooh. How are you?
I am doing awesome, man. I am doing awesome. Listen, like we talked off camera, man, there's so many people that came on the show that gave you your props, talked about you, talked about your game and the hell of a player that you were. And as I, did my research on you, um, man, not only were you one hell of a player, you played against some beasts, and you played with some like let's talk about that, right? I'm gonna just jump off right off the stage before we even get into the interview. Like you played against Dr. Duncanstein and played with Jeff Rulin. Did you play with Glenn Vickers as well?
Yeah, Glenn was my backcourt mate at Iona.
Now, okay. This North Babylon tree is crazy because y'all have so many legendary players that come out of that school. Did you guys play? He went to North Babylon as well, right? Or was he at Babylon?
Glenn was at Babylon High School.
He was at Babylon. Got you. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, listen, we're gonna jump right into this, man, because you have such a great story. And I want to just ask you this, man. Who introduced you to the game?
Well, my family stories, it really starts with my older brother, Bob, who was a great player. When we moved from Harlem out to Long Island, he was renowned as one of the best players out on Long Island when he got there. So I just followed in his footsteps, did a lot of things on my own, shooting basketball in my backyard, and really grew a love for the game. So it was easy to follow him. And, living in North Babylon, or Basketball City, and being surrounded by places like Babylon High School, West Babylon High School, our town alone next to Amityville and Wyandanch, there was a lot of basketball to be played. So I found a way to join the ranks and get out there and play against as many players as I could.
What was it like, with all the ball that you was around through the different towns and townships coming to play each other? What was basketball like growing up on Long Island? Because people don't understand. Like, I remember Long Island produced so many basketball players, and they still do to this day. But it was just like at an astronomical amount when you was coming up.
Yeah, no doubt. I would say in the 70s, Long Island basketball, really, really took off and had such a national impact. There were so many great players coming off the island, going to, a lot of institutions that were renowned for basketball, and to some like Iona that wasn't renowned for basketball, but got the right players to join and really, really show, with the strength of recruiting kids on Long Island. I mean, there was some great programs, some great players, and I can honestly say that back in those days, we were as good as any place in the country. So Long Island basketball really stood up and did its thing back in those days.
Now, people don't realize Dr. J is from Roosevelt, Long Island,
Right.
right? And we got a guy like that could bring, right? It's always that player that kind of brings attention to an area. He was just so huge. He was bigger than life, right? Do you think that he had an impact on bringing some of the eyes out to Long Island, out to you guys, or it went further than him?
Well, the doc, there's only one of him, so he certainly put a lot of focus on, schools wanting to recruit Long Islanders, but there were many players before Doc. There was many players after Doc, but the light that he shined on coming from Long Island really helped. It helped us all. It can be seen by, but nevertheless, Doc had a big impact on that as well for us.
Who are some of the like some of the standouts that we probably heard of or haven't heard of out in Long Island? Who you came up playing against? Like some of the guys who you helped sharpen some of their skills and they helped sharpen some of yours.
Well, fortunately for me, many of them ended up being my teammate at Iona. So, you have, you mentioned Jeff Rulin out of Sachem, Long Island, 6'10", you know, McDonald's All American, multiple time in NBA All Star. Um, Glenn Vickers, my teammate in the backcourt from Babylon High School, was just a great player, and really did a lot of wonderful things. Um, we had guys like Mike Palmer from St. Agnes High School. Went to Wake Forest at first and then transferred to Iona. um, Alex Middleton, a 6'7", 6'8" player from Deer Park, Long Island, that was just a beast and did a lot of great things for us. And then we had a lot of players that, had great high school careers. You may not know some of these names. Willie McCain from Longwood High School averaged over 30 points a game as a high school, and he ended up going to Purdue and transferring to Iona. Jeff Williams from Amityville High School, Tim Richardson from West Baptist. So listen, I could go on and on, but there was a ton of players that ended up at Iona that I thought was very good. Um, there were players like Jim Graziano out there. There was Reggie Carter at Lutheran. There was Wayne McCoy. Um, Man, I know I'm going to miss somebody. Bob Vinoy, 6'9" player from Brentwood, Long Island, and just so many players. I know I don't want to miss all the right people that I have a respect for, but there were so many players on Long Island. It was a coach's dream to be able to drive out there and watch basketball games.
I had a chance to meet Glenn Vickers' son. I did an event. Um, Salute to my guy that runs the MAC tournament out there. Um, he did an event, and I got a chance to meet Glenn Vickers' son. So salute to
Mm-hmm.
him and the whole Vickers family.
Yeah.
But man, it sounded like you guys at Iona was just loaded with Long Island guys.
Yeah, I'd say 80% of our team was from Long Island. We had a few outstanding players from Queens. You might remember this name, Glenn McMillan from Holy Cross High School.
Big hands,
Um,
big hands. That's right.
big time hands, yeah. Ed Gooding, 6'9" forward from Xavier High School and went to Syracuse and
Mm.
transferred back to Iona. Um, Charlie Miller, here's a blast from the past from Malvern High School. Played with Lionel Harvey and Booney Salters and those guys. So although it was predominantly Long Island, we had some help from a few of the city players as well.
As a player, as you start to develop your game, when did you're gonna start take this basketball thing serious?
Well, for me personally, I knew at an early age because I played one-on-one in my backyard against all the great players and I never lost. So what I'm saying is I had dreams early on that I was going to be a player. And I could see it happening as long as I just put the work in and kept imagining all the great things that could happen. You know, I I jokingly said about the one-on-ones in my backyard. I was actually out there by myself, but I envisioned playing against all the great players. So I had a feeling that if I put the work in, things would work out. On the court, though, when I got to high school and had the opportunity to play with some great players and do very well in high school, I figured if I chose the right college, I'd have a chance, you know, to uh, to use my skills to take me a little bit further.
The one thing that you mentioned was playing one on one by yourself and using the imagination. Like, if you tell a kid that now, they'll look at you crazy. I tell some of the young players now, like, if you know they complain they don't have nobody to play against, I said use your imagination, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I said you have no idea what you can create with your mind if you can envision it. So when you're in that moment, it's like you did it already because you envisioned it, right? So knowing you did that and I did that, and so many other players uh, that came up did those things, it kind of helped them. So I just wanted to mention that because I think that's so important. A young player using their imagination and putting themselves in that moment. is very important.
Yeah, I agree with you. As good as social media is and as powerful as it is, our social media was right between our skulls. We could only see what we wanted to see, and then we had to live it. So it was important for me. It really helped me quite a bit because I wasn't fearful of playing against anyone. And frankly, I wasn't fearful of maybe not being the best at that time. It gave me something to really strive towards. So, I recommend kids nowadays, if they can, take their eyes off the phone, do some dreaming about what they can accomplish.
You dream it, you can and believe it, you can achieve it. That's how the saying goes, right?
That's right.
And word of mouth. Word of mouth was a big thing. Like, the word spreading around town, like that kid from West Babylon or that kid from Wine Dance, and you heard about them. They had to live up to that, and some people really did. It that word of mouth was really legit because people will let you know by the time it got to you, it maybe was a little bit exaggerated, but you knew, man, this kid is a player because this is what everybody's talking about, and the word have reached back to you. No social media.
Yeah. And it gave you something to be anxious to strive for. I'd hear about players, and then I couldn't wait to go play against them to see if it was all true, and then to build my own reputation, on things that I'm sure they've heard. So it's definitely something that I think is positive and powerful to be able to imagine what it's like to play against the best.
Now, did you start North Babylon High School in the ninth grade?
So we you started high school in the 10th grade back in those days.
See, that's what I
So
gotta ask. Yes, yes,
yeah, back in those days it was the 10th grade.
yep.
Um, and I'm actually, it actually worked out good because there would have been a possibility to play varsity as a ninth grader, but that wouldn't have been worked out well. I thought it was good to have to wait that year to move up, because when I moved up in the 10th grade, I had a chance to start and learn from some of the elder statesmen at North Babylon, so it worked out well for me.
When did you say you started to come into your own during your high school career?
Uh, I had some success as a 10th grader. I averaged double figures, and started as a 10th grader and played against really, really good players. Um, but I would say probably the summer after my 10th grade, going into my junior year in high school, a number of other very talented players joined my high school program. Stan Wilcox, who went to Notre Dame, Carlton Hurdle, who played at Bridgeport,
Mm.
Andre Randall at Cornell, Ruben Lewis at USC, Russell Lewis at Delaware. So we were loaded. We had some players. And when they moved up and we were all together during that summer, we started to take down and beat some very, very good teams. And we realized that, what, this is real. We have a chance to be very special. And I had some very good summer. I had a very good summer my junior year. So I thought that, I was on the right path at that moment.
That's a very important time, right? Sophomore going to your junior year, then that junior year going to senior year. So those 2 years, right? Sophomore going to your junior year and that junior year going into your senior year are precious times to kind of figure out where you belong on that hierarchy in basketball.
Yeah, that is very, very important. And there really wasn't you back in those days. So
Nope,
we
no
had us playing in
AAU.
the Empire State games.
Hold on.
No
Hold
AAU
on, hold on.
that I
I
know
got to
of.
blow the whistle for that. Hold on. I gotta blow the whistle for that. I get so excited when someone brings up the Empire State game. Please expound on what the Empire State game was so people can understand what we're talking about. Those who don't know.
Yeah, Empire State was an opportunity for you to try out for, in this case, it was our county, it was Suffolk County. You go play Nassau County, you go play the Queens teams in Manhattan, etc. And the Empire State, you represent, in this case, you'd represent New York or Long Island, and you go play against teams from the other parts of the state that did the same thing, had their own tryouts and put together their all-star teams to go play. And that was a special time for me because it was my first chance playing with some of my future competitors and future teammates. You know, Glenn Vickers and I played together on the Empire State team. A bunch of young men from Central Islip and Wyandanch played, and we actually went up to Syracuse and won the whole thing. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's like the Olympics of New York.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Basically, yep, yep. I played as well. I definitely played as well. Definitely some fun times. Definitely some fun times. So, did you come to the city and play much at any tournaments?
You know what? Most of the focus during, you're talking about during high school season or summer
Yes,
or
yes,
just in
yes.
general?
During the summer. During the summer.
During the summer, we actually, it was more team focused. So my whole high school team would travel together to different places and play. Most of the tournaments we played back in those days were really on Long Island. You know, we did play in an event. I want to say it was a Centennial Park in Roosevelt. I think that's in
Centennial
Roosevelt.
Park. Yep,
Uh,
yep, yep, yep.
yeah, and we represented Suffolk County pretty well. And there was someplace else we played in Nassau County. I want to say it was either Farmingdale or Massapequa, someplace. Um, but most of the tournaments we played in was out on Long Island. You know, the Smithtown Recreation League was powerful back in those days. Every team from, you know, Suffolk County was there, and you could see a lot of the best players. So that was one of the tournaments. Um, Phil Lane in North Babylon, um, tournament in South Huntington. So again, it was primarily Long Island events. But nevertheless, you know, at that time, the ball on Long Island was powerful. So
You didn't
it was
have
the
to
place to
leave.
be.
You didn't have to
Yeah,
leave.
it was.
You didn't have to travel to down south of California for some competition. Competitions right in your backyard.
Yeah, and believe it or not, Nassau County was powerful also. So we wanted some great run. We go to Rockville Center and play against the Smith brothers. You know, go to Malvern and play against, you know, the Lionel Harvey and those guys. So there was enough basketball in Long Island. We didn't really have to leave.
Yeah, I remember playing out Rockville Center too, man. Definitely, definitely some good basketball. What was the now? Was the Newsday Classic around when you guys was or that came later on? The Long Island versus New York City.
No, that came after.
That came after.
It
So,
would have been. It would no, it would have been good.
cause now I'm gonna start some junk right now, right? So if if you guys have played against y'all coming to New York City, right, with your team, how you think you guys would have fared?
So I'm gonna talk a little mess right now. My high school team played.
I like that. Yes.
My high school team played in a tournament at Canarsie High School,
Mm.
and back in those days, they were very good. They had Tyrone Latson, Kurt Redding, and a
Yes.
bunch of players. The tournament, and when we left, a lot of people were saying those dudes are from Long Island because they didn't expect Long Island to be able to come out and do the damage that we did.
Right.
So that opened up some eyes as well. I would have loved to play against more of the powerhouse city teams and show them what, you know, what was going on in Long Island.
What year was your high school like? Let's say your junior and senior year. What year was that?
75 and 76.
75 and 76. Let's do that real quick. Let's have some fun real quick, Cap. Let's okay,
All right.
76. 76. You got Albert King from Fort Hamilton, Phil Kidd from Taft, Kenny Page from McKee, who went to Ohio State,
Yep,
Ron Player, Artie Green from Taft. The second
that's
team,
right.
Rolando Blackman, Will Sims, Mike Edwards, Bo McKinley. Wow, McNeely. This, woo, that that was tough. That man,
Yeah, that's strong right there.
yeah.
And then
Curtis Redding, Sam
yeah,
Worthen.
yeah, Sam. Yeah.
Oh man, that would have been such a game to see.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun. They were loaded. They had superior talent out there. But I tell you, you start adding, some of the names that you know are from Long Island. I think you could see it would have been very, very competitive.
I already know. You guys, was sending a lot of great ball players to college into the NBA during that time. Um, Chris Ram said Kevin was a teammate with Kevin Bass, Dave Brown, Iona played in the NBA, Pro Am League at City College. You played in Pro Am
That's
League
right.
at City College?
I did, and
Wow.
it
How was that?
was a lot of fun. I'll tell you. I'll tell you a quick funny story. My first game in that pro am, um, I got dunked on pretty viciously by Ray Williams from Mount Vernon,
Ray
and
Williams, Gus' little brother.
yeah, yeah, he dunked on me something fierce. Caught me off guard, and the place went crazy. Um, but 30 something points later, I think I showed a little respect for myself.
Okay. I hear that, Cab. Dropping buckets on the late great Ray Williams. Salute and rest in peace. Man,
Yeah,
look, you already know during that era, there was so many ball players. You could get it on any of it or any night. I once heard this one high school kid, the coach was like, "Why didn't you step in the lane?" And the high school kid was like, "Why? So he could dunk on me?" And I was like, "You not a ball player." The kids don't understand this. Not say all, but some or most. You're not a ball player if you ain't willing to get dunked on or shook. Like if you ain't playing defense, uh, if you just playing lackadaisical defense, a guy could do anything. But if you playing tight, he may shake you. But that's the chance you got to take to stop him, right? Of course,
yeah.
he caught you off guard, but when you saw him, you didn't run. You was like, man, he just got to do it, and I'm gonna show him afterwards.
Yeah, it's all about respect, man. I respected what he did, and hey, kudos to him. But I didn't show up to back down. I know that. So, the best part of the game was seeing how I was going to respond, and that's what I really encourage these young folks nowadays. Duncan is just worth 2 points, and whatever you can do to get either those two or three back, then you could potentially be up by a point after that. So it doesn't matter.
That's right. Salute to my guy CK. He talked about the great Manley Fieldhouse that the Empire State Games was held in during that time. Salute
That's
to
right.
Chris that's in the building and the number one basketball head of all time, my guy Ayatollah Beats.
Mm,
Straight from Queens, but now he lives in Portland, Oregon. Always on the check-in,
all
no
right.
matter the time difference. Man, this is crazy, man. What was your recruiting like? And when did first of all, when did you get your first letter? And do you remember who it was from? Did you hear me?
No, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
I said, what was your recruiting like? And do
Right.
you remember your first letter and who it was from?
Okay. So, my senior year in high school, my recruiting Well, let me back up. My junior year, I started to get recruited pretty well. My first letter was St. Bonaventure. I'll never forget it um, because my high school coach went to St. Bonaventure, and
Right.
I'm certain that he had a lot to do with that. Um, and then my recruiting picked up after the summer of my junior year, going into senior year,
Right.
um, because I had such a solid junior year during the summer. I was not going to go to Iona. I can just tell you that. My final three schools, I would say Syracuse was one of them.
Mm.
USC was another one. Um, I had interest from North Carolina, Temple. So I had interest from a lot of big schools. But my first three games, I believe, in my senior year in high school, I actually had a knee injury, and I missed most of my senior year of basketball. I only made it back for the tournament and the playoffs. So, a lot of those big schools that were recruiting me, you know what happens when you have an injury.
Especially back in
They
those
wait,
days.
yeah, they wait bye, and that was it. And for me, one of the reasons I went to Iona is because even while I was hurt, laid up in my house with a cast on, Coach Valvano kept recruiting me hard, and had a lot of positive things to say about my future. And I only asked him one thing. I said, "Listen, if I commit to go to Iona, I'd like to play." And I gave him a list of schools that was recruiting me that walked away. And I said, "I want to make sure we play these schools. Can you promise me that?" And he kept his commitment. So it was good to know that he did that.
Man, as a coach, I would have said, yo, I want this kid. This kid got a fire burning inside of him. Yeah, we're gonna make sure that happens.
Yeah,
This,
and
I,
he
I,
did.
I wanted to show you this. This is one of my letters from Iona.
Nice.
Yeah, and you know the handwritten letters back in the days meant they really wanted you, right? So,
That's right.
man, that to get your first letter and it be one of those big time schools, but also knowing that uh, if they walk away, you're gonna let them know you made a big mistake.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it helped that a lot of the young men and teammates that I played against in high school, there was a lot of interest in Iona, and I said, and we all said it to each other, if we end up at the same place, it doesn't matter who we play, that we'll be good enough that we can compete against anyone nationally. And that's exactly what happened.
Oh, this is my guy Chris Ramirez. What up, Chris? It's as Kevin did he what? BS. What I don't know what you got to rewrite that, Kev. I have no idea what you said on that. BS hair. I don't get that. You got to rewrite that. You got to rewrite that. Oh, did he play at Elm Core?
I did not play at Elm Core. Over the years, especially as I started coaching, I figured out how important Elm Core was and is, but I never played at Elm Core.
I remember, he talked about there were so many tournaments and so much ball on Long Island, he didn't have to leave the island.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, let me stop for 1 second.
Uh-huh.
I think I did play probably a game at Elm Core, and the reason I'm thinking about this is a friend of mine, Ron Cole, who played at Clemson University. We became friendly at some camp to the Villanova. So that young man might be correct. Maybe I did play there once.
Yeah, because, these guys never forget. Of course he never played at the Jamaica Armory, man. You always bring that up my guy brings that up every time. No, he did not play at the Jamaica Armory, Ayatollah Beast. He wants to know that must have been a play to a lot of ball players must have played that because he bring that up almost every show. Did you visit any other schools or were you locked in on Iona? And if you did visit any other schools, what schools did you visit?
Well, I visited Syracuse. I visited USC. I visited Temple. Um, and well, the local schools, like Hofstra, and there was another one. So I only went on 4 or 5 visits, um, and that was it.
Oh, okay. Well, I I think now I don't know if they stretched it. I know back in the days we only could visit five, have 5 official visits, and then I don't know
Right.
if they expanded it any after that. He said, which team did he play on at the pro am? Mr. Sisu Watkins was my mentor. Also, Doc Lusting
Great guy.
was the lead director, and I
Yeah.
worked for City College, CCNY.
Yeah. Susu was my dude, man. What a nice man, and R.I.P. to him.
Most definitely, most definitely. He was the reason why we had, this citywide and all those other things that
Right.
uh, in the city. Um,
Yep.
Said he would have been on those early Jim Boeheim teams. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Syracuse is a different team back in those days. I guess once Pearl went there and they opened up that that Carrier Dome, and he started bringing those 30,000 people to those games, and then Syracuse became Syracuse that everybody know about.
Well, Syracuse before Pearl, Louis Orr, Roosevelt Bowie, you
Yep.
know, Glenn Shackelford, Perry Moss, all those guys, they were very, very good.
And they had a Final Four team there as well, because my coach, Tom Green, used to coach there. Yep.
That's right.
With Ray
Yep.
Danforth. Yep. Vaughn Harper,
Yep.
right? The radio guy played for Syracuse
Yep.
back in the days.
That's right.
Yep. Yep. So once you got to Iona, how was your transition on and off court once you got on the campus of Iona? Like, how did college fare you when you first, how did you adapt to college life, uh, being a freshman on campus?
Well, what I did is before I officially started there, I went to summer school to get some courses out of the way. So my first couple of semesters, I didn't have to take a full load. Did that. So I spent a lot of time up there, and adapting to Iona was really easy because as a school, it was relatively small. So you pretty much knew everyone on campus. They knew you. All the professors, were very cool. And back in those days, we spent a lot of time in the gym anyway. So after class, we run to the gym. If we had a night class, we go back and run to the gym. So it was easy transition. And then playing as a freshman, both Glenn and I started in the backcourt together as freshmen. Um, that was an easy transition also because we knew each other, we knew what to expect, and it just went over very, very easily for us. So we had a lot of success back in those days. Glenn averaged 17 a game as a freshman, and I averaged, I want to say 10 to 12, something like that.
Were you a point guard?
I played some point, but I was a shooting guard. I was more of a scorer. But when I needed to, I could play point. But my job was to make shots.
What made you choose the number 14?
That's a great question. Um, no, when I got it, I owned it. So whatever the number was, it was fine with me.
Oh, it was just one of those things where the coach kind of throwing out jerseys. You was like, oh, I'll take this one.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't 56 or something like that, yeah, I was good.
Did you have the same number throughout high school and college?
No, actually, in high school, I wore number 12. At Iona, I wore 14, obviously. Yep.
Oh, okay. Because I noticed Kev wore 14 as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, you and Glenn Vickers started in the backcourt. Uh, Jeff Rulin was now. You played with him. We watched him in when he got to the pros, right? And
Right.
he was for me, he was like a more skilled, a stronger Bill Lambier, right? That can do a lot of things. Just from me watching, because I didn't see him early on. I didn't see him in college. I didn't see him in high school. I saw him once he got to the pros, and he was just this imposing figure. And he just made his way in the post during a time when you had to be strong and be a threat down low to make some noise because it wasn't easy. How was it playing with him? And was he as nice as we saw him in the NBA? Like you got to see him early on.
Well, first of all, Jeff and I played against each other in high school quite a bit. His team was in the same conference as my team, so
Oh,
we
okay.
played them twice a year before playoffs. So I got to see him a lot. Um, Jeff, believe it or not, from what you saw in the pros, he was much more skilled than most people know. He could put the ball on the floor. He could shoot mid range out to, close to three. I wouldn't say he's a 3-point shooter, but he could shoot the ball. And he had some stuff with him. I mean, he could handle the ball for a 6'10 dude, and get by people. But when we got to college, you could tell his presence on the inside because he's so skilled at getting to the basket, very high shooting. But if you can shoot 65% from the field as a big guy, you're skilled
Whew.
at getting close to the basket. So Jeff was extremely good, both in high school and when he got to college, he changed his game a little bit and became a bruiser. And I think he liked that role too. He wasn't shy when he came to hitting people. So it was a lot of fun playing with him.
Man, he made a lot of guys back down. I know that much.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people, called him Mr. Inside, called me Mr. Outside. We complimented each other well. If you want to double team Jeff, and I was on the same side as him, you had a problem. And then if you want to rush and take away these long bombs I made from three, then we throw the ball inside to Jeff or Alex or one of those guys, and we had a good chemistry going.
Well, back then there was no 3-point shot.
No, no, and that's the one thing
Just
I
imagine.
wish, I wish, I wish.
Man,
I wish.
Crispin Ramirez said a story to share. Iona was invited to join the Big East when it first started.
Yeah. So um, the best way to put this is there was some talk about it my senior year, the first year of the Big East, but many of the schools in the Big East did not want that to happen because we were riding so high. You know, a lot of those schools, I won't name them all. Some here in New York and some in D.C. You can figure out who they are.
Yeah, St. John's, Georgetown, they didn't want the smoke. They didn't want
Yeah,
the smoke. That's what it was.
yeah, that's exactly right. So, that would have been great, but the best part of it all is we played them anyway. So
Yeah,
that will still be able to play them.
yeah. Um, Mike Barnes, historian from Queens, who now lives in I think North Carolina, said, Kevin, you're referring to Greg Coles, who played in the backcourt for Monte Cristi during the early
Yep.
to mid 70s. Greg Cole played with Tree Rollins, at CM during the mid-'70s. See,
Yep.
this guy, Mike
Yeah.
Barnes, is a historian. Like people, give me my props about knowing a lot about New York City basketball. This guy knows the school they went to, what year, who they played with. Salute to my guy Mike Barnes, man, for sure. Some more
Yeah. Greg
history.
was a player. He was a great player.
Yeah. Say Greg McMillan, another All-City player from Holy Cross, played at Iona. Then later he
Yep.
transferred to CW Post. That's a
Yep.
fact. That's a
Yep.
fact. He said, Kev, did you play against Sam Worthing at Marquette and Eddie Lee at Cincinnati during the mid-'70s to early '80s?
We never played against them, but I knew them, and we'd run in a little bit in the same circles. And Sam was amazing. Big physical point guard that just put a beating on you. And Eddie Lee, I mean, Cincinnati, he was very, very good. But I ran into them, because I was friends with Lionel, Harvey, and some of the other guys out there. But I never got a chance to play against them.
Let's talk about that legendary game against St. John's, because I think that's the game that kind of put you on the map or gave y'all credibility on the national level, according to the article that I posted today.
Well, I'm not sure which one, but we played St. John's 3 times when I was at Iona, and we beat them 2 of 3. So, and they were very, very good. A ton of respect for, all the players that they have in their program. Back in those days, I'll mention some names. It was George Johnson, Cecil Relford, Bernard Rencher, Reggie Carter, Wayne McCoy. I mean, all these guys. And we were good, though. We were a tough matchup for them. Jeff dominated in the middle, so that was a home run for us. And then Glenn and I had a lot of success against St. John's, so it was a pleasure playing against them. They were very, very good, and like you said, it did help put Iona, especially locally on the map. A lot of recruits that normally would consider St. John's started to consider Iona as well.
Hey guys, don't let those Iona guys into the Big East. They're a problem. that was the talk. That was the talk behind the scenes. I just got that message from Bertie. You're not gonna keep beating us like that. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. In one of the biggest games in Iona College career, y'all defeated the mighty Louisville University with All-American Dow Griffin, who poured in 32, but it wasn't enough for the win. Walk me through that moment with you having 20 points in that game.
Well, first and foremost, it was exciting to be in the Garden with 19,000 people there.
Whew.
And I would say probably 18,000 of the 19 thought Louisville was going to run us off the floor. A week earlier, Louisville had played St. John's and beat them up pretty bad. So the fact that they were there, DePaul was also in that doubleheader, and they were 1 and 2 in the country, Mark Aguirre and those guys. But I'll tell you, most people did not. They knew we were good, but most people did not really understand how good we were. And those who remember, I mean, we beat Louisville by 17. Could have easily been more. And I was hoping we would have ran into them again, because if we would have played them in the national championship game or any, Final Four game, we would have beat them again. So they couldn't handle Jeff. They had problems. Points I scored with probably 10 minutes to go in the game, and before 10 minutes to go. And they made sure that, I didn't get many shots off after that. They were putting the guy close to me to try to take it away from me. So the rest of my teammates really stepped up and did what they had to do. But they had no answer for us, and we were very confident that we were going to beat them, and you know, the rest is history.
Knowing that you guys had Jeff down low causing mass hysteria, right? They had, if they would double or triple team him, then they got to deal with you guys out in the wing, shooting those jump shots and penetrating through the middle and just, having y'all way. It made y'all a dangerous team. You know, we all know Louisville and the great player that Dow Griffin was, Dr. Duncanstein. But for you guys to beat them, and not by one, not by a buzzer beater, you guys kicked their butt by 17.
Well, I tell you, Jeff was one of the best centers in the country, and everybody we played against, he showed it. I mean, our first 4 games my senior year when Jeff was a junior was out in the Great Alaskan Shootout. And first game was against number 10 ranked Texas A&M, had some great players. You know, we smacked them around pretty easily. You know, they wanted to take away Jeff, so they double teamed him, and I ended up having 28. And then the next game we played Long Beach State, that was ranked in the top 25 with Craig Hodges from the Bulls and other players. They wanted to take me away. Almost went boxing one, but Jeff and Glenn went berserk on them. And then the last game against Kentucky with Sam Bowie and others, I mean, Jeff destroyed Sam Bowie. Like, it wasn't even funny. And I believe I had 20 something. But to show you how good we were, we left the Great Alaskan Shootout. And the talk was, you really got to watch this Iona team now. They're not a fluke. And, we did what we had to do to prove that. We went 29-4 my senior year. And it was the second best record in the country. And we beat the team that had the best record. So we were a very confident group, confident in our abilities and confident as a team, trusted our coach. And I would say that we proved that, we were worthy on the national stage.
Speaking of y'all coach, the late great Jim Valvano, what did he give you guys, and how was his style that kind of made y'all guys such a great team on and off the court, and also deadly against your opponents? What did he do to kind of install that with you guys?
Yeah, so Coach Valvano was, first of all, he was only 8 years older than most of us. So it was like playing for your brother.
Right.
I mean, we knew when it was time to be serious and take care of business, but he kept it light, and he really allowed us to play. That was the best part of in my opinion, of how he handled us. He knew what our strengths were, and he allowed us to do it. He never said to me, "Hey, stop shooting." If anything, he encouraged me to shoot even more. He knew what everybody could do, and he allowed us to play. The other thing is, although he was young, he had some good basketball sense. If you remember, if you know this, he was a former player. He played at Rutgers, so he knew what it was like to play in the big time. But the biggest thing I remember about Coach Valvano is, man, he could get you motivated. He could really, really motivate you. People know him from the SB speech, but we got speeches like that every halftime. This dude really knew. He knew how to motivate you, and it was a real joy to have someone that could get you fired up when you needed to.
No doubt. Chris Ramirez, this is a great question, Chris. He said beating Texas A&M, was David Britton on that team?
Say that again?
Britton. Was David Britton on that Texas A&M team? I need to call Dave right now.
Yes, he was.
He was?
Yeah, I believe he was. Yep, that name is familiar.
Yeah, he's from Harlem.
Yeah.
This is my brother right there. Hold on for a sec. See if he see if he pick up. Just mess with him for a few minutes. Hold on. Yeah, he already know. I'm gonna mess with him. Be like, yo, y'all lost to Iona. He gonna keep it real too. Yeah, David Britton, definitely a legend down in Texas A&M.
Yeah, I
What's
remember the
up? What's
name.
up? Yo, Dave. Yo, I got Kevin Hamilton on here from Iona.
I remember Kevin Hamilton.
He said he remember you. He said remember you. He said yeah. We he on the show right now. We were just talking about their run with Iona during those days.
Yeah, we played them. He was the point guard. Him and what's his face in the backcourt.
Glenn Vickers.
Glenn and Rulin was there.
Yep.
Eggman and Valvano was the coach.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
They beat us by a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell him I'm still mad at him.
He said he's still mad at you.
Tell him it's nothing but love, man.
He said nothing but love, nothing but love. How you doing, brother? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. They had some great games down here for the Poop Fest.
All right, man. I'm gonna holler at you.
Okay.
All right,
tell
brother.
him I said what's up.
All right. He said what's up.
All right, that's what's up.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. See? It's that love right there. Look.
Yeah.
You never forget, right? Especially those big wins and those losses that hurt, because they still stick with you.
No doubt. No doubt.
Man. So now you figuring out, you seeing Jeff go, because was he how many years ahead of, were you and Jeff in the same class?
I was a year ahead of Jeff, but he came out into the draft the same year as I did.
And the draft, it was 7 rounds when you guys came out, correct?
It was, yes.
And
actually, it might have been 10 rounds.
It was 10 rounds?
Yeah.
I know it went from 14 to 10 to 7, and by the time I got come out, it was like 2 rounds. I was like, you don't have a chance.
Right. Yeah, man.
Man, so when did you know you had a chance of being drafted? Because this is every kid's dream, to be drafted into the NBA. When did you know, or did you have an idea, inkling that you was going to get drafted?
I started to have an idea at the end of my junior year. But going into my senior year, and especially coming back from the Great Alaskan Shootout, I started to hear, from teams. And early in my senior year, I had some big games, Wichita State, Georgetown, who else? University of Pittsburgh. I had 39 against Pitt. And, then the intensity really started to pick up. So, I had an idea of what was going to happen.
And do you remember what round you got drafted by the Boston Celtics?
Yeah, I got drafted in the 4th round.
Where were you when you got that news? Because it wasn't like they was doing the big thing in the Garden, right? That was nowhere near. That happened, those things started happening like in the mid-'80s.
Yeah, but I was actually at the draft.
So they would have the formal draft? They was having a formal draft back then as well?
They did, yes. And my father and I went, we were invited to be not on the floor like they have it now, but in the arena. Actually, it was at the, what is it? Not the Waldorf, the Plaza Hotel. And because I didn't know when I was going to get drafted. It was projected anywhere 2nd to 5th. And a few teams that had told me they were interested, I was just waiting around to see what was going to happen. But hands, and you go in the back and you get on the phone. I was on the phone with Red Auerbach, the general manager. And, he was just talking, and he said, do you have any questions? And I said to him, yes, the Celtics never spoke to me. why did you draft me? And now I know why he was the best ever. He said, son, if any team knew I was even interested in you, they would have took you well before this. And I was
Mm.
like, wow. So I got the picture.
And like we said back then, word of mouth travels fast.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't find
Yeah.
out through social media, right?
No, that's right.
Man. So you get drafted. Uh, when did the injury occur? During um, practice with the Celtics or beforehand?
In preseason. So I went up, signed my contract, and believe it or not, back in those days, you had 3 a days. We practiced 3 times a day. And we were having a scrimmage and playing in this scrimmage. I landed on my elbow, shattered it, and needed some reconstructive surgery. So, that was the end of it all. But, I wouldn't trade it for anything, man. What an experience. Great experience.
Listen, I've talked to guys who had that experience, who've gotten cut, who've only been there for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I said, man, just to have that experience, right? You know how many people that they they would be lying to themselves. They said just to have that experience, right? Because we all looking on the outside. We're on the outside looking in. You had a glimpse on the inside to see what was like, and to have that experience. But that didn't stop you in pursuing a life inside of basketball, correct? Now, what did you do once that part of your life was over?
Yeah, so I'd say after crying for 2 weeks, I decided, you know what, I got my degree for a reason, so let me go to work. First, before I went to work, um, the Celtics sent me up to the old G League, Maine Lumberjacks. Now, I couldn't even play. I had surgery, but they sent me up there waiting to see, how long, what was going to happen, if I would be available next year, all those types of
Because
things.
that was like the
And that was
CBA,
fun.
correct? That was like the CBA back then?
Yeah, that was like the equivalent of the CBA. Yep.
Yes, yep.
So I got to play with, not play with, I got to be a part of that organization and be around a lot of very good players. Guys like Rory Sparrow was a good friend of mine. And, it was interesting to see those who didn't make it, what they had to do to get back into these teams' good graces. So that was an experience. But that wasn't for me. So I decided to go to work, man. And took a really good job with IBM, and started my business career.
You was in IBM early on, man. That's what did you
Yeah,
do there?
I was in sales, selling computers, man.
And it's crazy because IBM laughed at Steve Jobs when he wanted to copy this,
That's right. That's right.
right? People don't understand the
That's right.
history of it. And then now we
Yep.
have, right? We have they're wireless now. So
Hmm.
IBM played a big part in our technology that we see it today, man. So that was definitely I can imagine an eye-opening experience for you. Um,
Yep.
Now, when you say you went into like business, when did you start to get the itch to get back into the game and be a part of it?
Day one, I was working, but I still tried to do some things to stay involved. Um, Tried to help some kids, understand what it was like to be recruited. And I'll give you an example. I spent a lot of time. You may not know these names, but Derek Brower and Ruff
Yeah, I know. I had his brother on the show, Jason Brower. I just had his brother on the show.
from North Babylon. Used
Yeah.
to
Derek
talk
Brower,
to me a
my
little bit.
guy, and his brother Jason. Yeah, those
Yeah,
my guys.
yeah, that's right. So I used to spend time talking to them a little bit about recruitment and helping them out. It was an honor that they felt they could consult with me a little bit. and many others. And I tell you, eventually when I started having my own children, I said, man, I got to stay involved here. Especially with having boys. I have three sons, so I said, I gotta stay involved as best I can. So
Oh, so you have three boys. You have three boys. And all of
I
them play
do, I
ball?
do.
And all of them play ball?
All of them played high school, college, and professionally.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I think Kev did tell me that. I think Kev did talk about that.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
what was it like for you knowing that you can install the knowledge that you learned into your boys and to see them take full advantage of it and then get to play professional basketball when yours has stopped and they found other ways, right? Because back then, if you had pursued it and wanted it uh the way you felt it in your soul, you didn't feel it in your soul to keep going, right? But they found other options. Like, did you open up their mind to playing overseas and having other options?
Each of them were different. But one thing I can tell you that I tried real hard not to do was force them.
Mm.
I was very fortunate, certainly starting with Kevin and then my other son Keith and my youngest Kieran. They all wanted to play, and I think part of why is first let me just say this: our backyard was a battleground like you can't believe.
Whew, I can
Um,
imagine.
we used to hoop, and it used to get very competitive. And I tried not to ever let them win. But when they eventually started to beat me, they got back all the years of frustration and took it out on the old man. But they were very competitive, and you can't teach that. And then all I tried to do was just encourage them to be who they are and let their skills shine for what they can be, and the rest would take care of themselves if they wanted to put the work in. And I was happy to say that they all did, and certainly they all were very very successful, and obviously some are still successful with the game right now.
uh Carry on Hamilton, number 10, says, if I'm saying the name right,
That's my
Ron,
son Kieran. Yeah,
Kieran,
Kieran. Yeah.
yes. What up, Kieran? Look, definitely love to have you on, man, for sure. He said 4,500 points collectively between father and three sons. Whoo,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a lot of buckets, Dad.
Well, that's
Jesus.
one thing. That's one thing I did tell him is to shoot. So all
Don't
my
be
sons
afraid to
shoot the
put
ball.
the ball in the hole. Pause. Yes,
That's right.
that's right. Oh man, that is awesome. That is awesome. So with you having, the three boys and getting into basketball, um, when did you start getting into like broadcasting and things of that nature, and speaking at camps, and really getting out there, and putting yourself back on the scene?
So my alma mater, Iona, during the years that Tim Cluse was the coach at Iona, he asked me to come back, support the program, and I did Iona radio to start. So I used to travel with his team for 6, 7 years and do the radio broadcast, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, just broadcasting, freely speaking, and going to great places. I had the pleasure. I broadcast on radio from Kansas when it was Wiggins and Embiid's first game. I mean, that
Wow.
was a great experience. So I started doing that, and then when he enrolled, doing that for just about 8 years, and love it. Just love it. I really enjoy it.
Wow, what a great experience that must have been. Uh, so Mike Barnes said, I caught this interview a few minutes late. Can you ask Kevin if he played against Stan Wilcox? Yes, he mentioned Stan Wilcox. Carlton Hurdle, Ray from Amityville High School in the mid-'70s. Carlton
Yeah,
Hurdle
well,
and Ray.
yeah, I played with them. They were on my high school team, Stan and Carlton.
Hope that answers your question. I told you this guy, he know about guys that people you think you look. After this, once he go back and watch what he missed, he's gonna leave a nice long commentary about connecting the dots to all the
Yeah,
people you mentioned, which is
yeah,
great, man.
yeah.
I told him he should write a book, man. It's a great historian. Love that, love that. It's a great thing. Now, let's talk about first of all, Kev being a coach in New York City, the Eagle Academy.
Oh yeah.
What was it like watching? First of all, there's nothing like having your son coaching one of the biggest games in New York City at the Barclays Center and having the Eagle miracle shot. We call it the miracle shot at the Barclays, right?
Yep.
Man, I was there on the floor. I taped the whole thing, watched the whole thing happen in slow motion. What was it like to see him win on that stage at that moment? Like his first city
Yeah.
championship and the way that he won it.
Yeah. So I would tell you that that's a very, very proud moment for dad, for coach, for whatever you want to call me in my relationship with Kevin, because I know the work that he puts into it. And if you remember where Eagle started to
Yes.
getting to that stage, it says a lot about the work and the character that he has to be able to go through tough times, be steady, and then take them to a place that they've never been before. But I got to tell you, the most rewarding thing for me is how he's done what he's done. He is transitional as far as I'm concerned for New York City basketball. I, I'm not going to say there aren't any others, but there's not a lot of coaches that do what he does. Um, yes, basketball is important, but he's teaching these young men life beyond basketball, and he's teaching these young men um, how to succeed, sometimes through failure, but how to be prepared to handle adversity. And those characteristics nowadays, especially with NIL and transfer portal and all that kind of stuff, if these kids aren't ready for it, they're going to automatically fail the first 2 years they go to college. So I have a lot of respect for him, and I'm just so happy and proud of what he's done. And here's the scary thing: I think he's just beginning. I think this is just the start of things to come for him and his program. So proud moment. He makes me proud every time he steps on the floor, the coach. Um, Kev, Kev is laid back, but I'm glad to see he's yelling a little bit more at the officials. But um, but
Listen,
he's just a wonderful, wonderful coach, and not only Eagle, but any place that he ends up, we'll be lucky to have him.
Kev is cool, calm, and collective, but he'll put the fire on when he needs to. Right? I've been
Yep.
watching him for some years now. Definitely one of my favorite coaches, and definitely one of the best coaches in New York City. But after I've watched him do what he did for Hunter Frazier, right?
Yeah.
And I told
Yeah.
Kev, I said, yo, Kev, I've seen you do with other kids, who had, some talent and you were able to sharpen their skills. But what he did for Hunter Frazier and how he brought this kid along, right, to not being a Division I prospect, to changing his body, changing his mindset, installing confidence, and then having him become a Division I prospect shows a lot. And that takes a lot of skill, that takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of work. and we did I do my preseason runs, and I always make sure I stop at Eagle because it's always fun there. And the Eagle guys are always inviting out to myself and making sure that I'm good whenever I need to go to a game or anything like that, or anything that they have, and they always invite me. But I told Kev, I said, man, I watched Hunter from the beginning, for when y'all first had him to where he's at now, and you and your coaching staff did one hell of a job with that kid, and that puts you ahead above a lot of coaches in New York City just for that example alone, right?
Yeah,
Now,
I
it just, man, it just blew me away the way how they helped that kid come this far, and I'm super psyched to see them play and throughout the season this year.
yeah, no, I agree with you. And Hunter's a great example, but there are many more
Oh
that
yes, yes, yes,
from what I've seen. Um, and you know what? The biggest thing for me also is the respect factor.
yes.
Um, these kids respect him. You know, he doesn't brag about what he's done in his career, but he's had a great career, man. And and when he says, "Well, this is what you need to be prepared for to be a good player in college," he knows what he's talking about. So it's just very rewarding to see everything that they're doing.
Nah, that's definitely right on point. Let's talk about reclassification. What's your thoughts on that?
It works for some, and for some it doesn't. I think if you should have the right reason to reclass, and it shouldn't be because people are in your ear telling you need to be. It should be well thought out, and there should be a goal at the end of it. Um, some people reclass just to get another year, and that doesn't always work out. But if you are young and can use the strength or can use some academic help, whatever it is, make sure there's a purpose.
Do you think it should be any restrictions on the transfer portal?
It's a new world we live in, man, and a lot of good coaches have stopped coaching because of the transfer portal. But it's the new world, and now people just have to learn to adapt. And it's really good for the players, without a doubt. And it's forcing coaches to be better coaches and give better reasons for kids to want to stay. So it's a win-win, I think, for both sides. But it's totally different, a different world, though.
Like, do you think it should be limited to 2 years, or kids should be able to transfer for 4 years, for their whole 4 years? Just move to another school, move to another school. Because what they don't talk about is the 60% or 70% of the kids who stuck in the transfer portal and lose their scholarship and don't have any place to go.
Yeah, I think you're going to see the NCAA do some things that's going to better define what the transfer portal should be. I think you're going to see multiple year contracts to transfer. You're going to see a lot. I'm not going to try to predict as much as I know some things, but I think you're going to see some new rules come into effect.
Now, for a high school coach, right? I had this debate with a friend of mine's, who's, you know, who stands 10 toes down about coaches, high school coaches having the responsibility to get all 14 guys into college. Do you think
Yeah,
is it the high school coach's job to get every last player into college? What are your thoughts?
I think it's mostly the players' job to get themselves into college.
That's what I say.
Coaches do what they can do, and should leverage all resources that they can, but players play. So
And everybody not gonna play.
I used to tell my players, and if I'm a kid, I'm sorry.
No, I said, and everybody
I'm
not gonna
sorry.
be able to play. No, I'm saying everybody not gonna be able to play. Let's
Yeah,
just That's just the reality. A lot of people's uh, high school career is going to end in high school. It's just what it is.
Yeah. You know, the late Bobby Knight had a quote that I thought was pretty funny, but very real. He said, "Players that don't work hard, their butts are on the bench, and if they want to get their butts off the bench, they work harder." I'm
Okay.
using different. I'm using different words
Oh
than
yeah,
what he
yeah. No,
used.
I definitely I got you. I got you. Now, you know, your junior's up here starting trouble, right? He said,
Okay.
"Thanks, Dad, for the kind words. Love you too. But who was better, me or you?" And he made it rhyme. All right, Kev. I hear that, Kev. He said, "Uh-oh." He said, "Uh-oh. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Because I want to hear this. I want to hear this. Who was better? Because I want to know now. You
better at
or
better at better at what?
okay, Kev? What's up? Better at what? Are, he said better player.
Yeah. So I would say there's some things I did better, um, and I would say there are things that he definitely did better than me.
Dad, you
But I
being
would.
modest.
But
I'm going to blow a tech on you, Dad. I'm going to blow a
no,
tech on
no,
you.
don't call tech yet. Don't
All
call
right.
tech yet.
All right.
Because I always say to Kevin, I would have loved to play against him.
How would you stop him? Do you know some things that you could have stopped him that he couldn't, like he didn't know? Like he said, yeah, yeah. Karan said, he said, spoken like a true politician. That's what I'm saying, Kay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dad is being all political. They put them on the spot now. Who is better? Come on,
Yeah,
Dad.
yeah. You got all according to what rules we're playing. I can answer that question.
You laid the
We're playing.
foundation, though.
If we're playing old school rules, I think I would have had him. But new school rules, he would have me. I
Who was
can't. I
better?
couldn't guard him. He would foul me out of a game because I can't guard him.
So that means he was better than if you couldn't guard him.
But he couldn't guard me either. Now you see. Now you see why the backyard was so much fun.
Yeah. they let you know. He laughing.
That's
Oh
funny.
man, this is good. This
Can
is
you do
dope.
a favor? Can I do
Yes.
one thing real quick? I want to plug my phone in.
Go ahead. We got some time. Go ahead. We got some time. Hey, you gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Kev wanted to know, like, yo, who is better, Dad? Like, me and you. Like, I know you gave me some game, but I don't know. I was kind of nice there too. Well, look, if Dad wore 14 and the junior wore 14, he was looking up to Dad. He knew some things his dad was doing. Mike Barnes said, "Can you ask Kevin if he played the IS-8?" No, he did not play the IS-8 with the Nassau crew, featuring Al Skinner, Bert Pratt, Horace Brawley, Tim Basic, of New York Nets during the mid '70s and early '80s. Yeah,
I
Mike.
did not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mike wanted
I
to know,
did.
did you play in IS-8? And I'll let them know he did not play in IS-8, and all the tournaments he played in was in Long Island.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to play in ISA.
Yeah, IS-8, definitely legendary tournament. Definitely legendary tournament.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, Now, NIL deals. What are you feeling on NIL deals? And are you happy that players are allowed to get paid now during these days?
I'm very happy that they are. And NIL deals are good. Um, yes, I'm happy players get paid, and NIL is long overdue, without a doubt. I wish they had NIL for back in my days.
I was just about to say the same thing. We needed them so bad. We needed them so bad. Oh, we were so broke. We were so broke.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Now, um, how do we help players get exposure outside of AAU?
Yeah, that's a two-part answer for me. Number one, their high school coach really, really has to step up. I love high school teams that want to play the best competition and want to, expose their players to what it's like playing against the best players and the best teams out there. That's how you're going to be seen. And then, I think high schools should do much more when it comes to outreach to colleges for these kids. You know, there's always a player or multiple players on the team that can play, but if the coach is not promoting that, then like you said before, word of mouth is the only way that some of these good players can get seen.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Now, let's talk about your granddaughter, Sophia, and how proud are you of her continuing the Hamilton's legacy of ball players. Um, like, you get to see all three of your boys play, and now you get to see your granddaughter play at Holy Cross, a place where you coached as a freshman, coach and won the city championship there, and now she's there
Right.
playing varsity basketball. Like, uh, how you feeling when you see your granddaughter on the court? Is the tears come to your eyes? This
Yeah, it's very touching. And the biggest reason I'm touched by Sophia is the fire has finally been lit. You know, she started as a freshman at Holy Cross on the varsity, and she did well. As a young girl, as a freshman, she started to see what the competition level is like, and then as a sophomore, she did better. Um, but she realizes now that to be great, you got to be good fast. And she's really taken some very positive steps forward. And the biggest step is I think she really loves the game now. Um, you know, I can tell that she's really into it. She's a leader, she's verbal, and she's really worked on her game this summer. Um, so I'm really proud of her and I'm happy for her. But the biggest thing is, you know, coaching her is going to be a lot easier because she's got that fire now.
Yeah, like I told you before, when I showed up to do the preseason runs, you know, everybody was just like, all the coaches like, that's Kev Hamilton's daughter. I was like, I know she looks just like him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, definitely a leader. Um, I could see she was being very vocal. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you hear? She said,
Yeah.
we can't mic up during the game, sadly, because she want people to hear her, right? So you already know
Yeah.
she a baller and she got that fire and she's ready to play. So that's
Yeah.
dope. That's dope.
Yeah. I'd say the best is definitely ahead for her. Um, and in a lot of ways, she reminds me of her dad. Um, because once that fire is lit, you know, things just start to happen very, very quickly. So, I think she's on her way.
Nah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. From your three sons, yourself, now your granddaughter. Definitely, definitely. Um, this is what I need you to do. I need you to send me uh two pictures of your other two sons playing.
Oh yeah,
Please do that. I'm gonna add them to that YouTube thumbnail. Put the whole family up there, man. I think that would be dope. I think that
yeah.
would
I
be dope.
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Peanut Hamilton says a point of interest for Kevin 1414 as his older brother and uncle come in senior. You may be better in some respects because of the teacher you had in your father, Uncle Stephen. There
Oh
you
yeah,
go. There you go.
my brother.
That's right. Brother coming in to save the day. That's right. That's right. That's right. Look, when you're Mr. Miyagi, right? That's right. You let him know. Kev, I taught you. I gave you the belt. I gave you the glow of the dragon. That's
Yeah,
why you wear 14, Kev. All right? Bow down, Kev.
yeah, yeah.
That's
But I'll
my
tell
guy,
you,
man.
if you don't mind for say, I'll tell you,
No,
all
no,
my
go ahead.
guys,
Go ahead. I'm here.
all my guys, I'm proud of them. They're their own person in their own ways. They've been very successful and still doing their thing. And so Kevin, this one's definitely for you. We can do this 2-on-2 again this summer.
Hold on. What was the 2-on-2? Let's talk about that. What 2-on-2?
Well, luckily for me, I had Kevin on my side, so we played 2-on-2. My other son Kieran and my son Keith. Kieran's the speedster. Keith is the long range shooter. So they took on the two older ones, me and Kevin. We played 2-on-2 in the park, and me and Kevin flexed. We walked away with the trophy, and
Yes.
Kevin was the assist guy. He was hooking me up. The game was to 11, and I'll let Kevin put in the comments how many I had.
Let's go, Kev. I want to hear him. I want to hear that. I definitely want to hear that. How much did Pops have, Kev? All right.
He
While we
hooked me.
wait for while we wait for
Yeah.
him to put that in the comments. If it's one thing you could change about your career, what would it be and why?
That's a great question. I don't know if there's much I would change. I would say that along the way you learn different things, and you can't go backwards in time. You can just try to do better as you go forward. So, um, right now on the broadcast piece, I'm very happy. I love doing ESPN stuff. I hope to do a tournament game this year. That'll be a lot of fun. And so I don't look backwards. I just try to look forward.
Well said. Well said. So, you ready to have some fun? Let's get into our top five. Our top five. Our top five.
Let's do it.
All right.
Top five. Top five.
Okay. Okay. Who are the top 5 players you played with? Now you only can name 5. You can't bring anybody off the bench.
That I played with
Yeah.
um, Jeff Rulin, Glenn Vickers, Stan Wilcox, Carlton Hurdle, and number 5. You know what? An interesting one. A 7-footer from Bayshore High School in Long Island, my teammate Kevin Vesey.
Mm. Wow.
He
Good
led the
five.
country
Good
in block.
five.
He led the country in block shots.
Wow. All right. Top 5 players you played against.
Wow. Darryl Griffith was one of them. Sleepy Floyd from Georgetown.
And Mike Barnes had mentioned that. He said, hold on, before you go on. He said, hold on, because I know he mentioned that up here. Hold on, no, that wasn't it. Oh, he said He says, I recall y'all lost to Georgetown. Sleepy Floyd was on that team, and Patrick Ewing was still in high school.
That's true.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Sleepy Floyd.
Sleepy was very, very good. So that's two. I'm gonna throw a surprise name out there. You may not know this name. A guy by the name of Earl Belcher from
Mm.
St. Bonaventure. Um, I got to see this brother. He was actually at the Celtic camp also, and man, he was much better than I had any idea. He was very, very good. Um, who else? Let me see.
You want to look at the
Uh,
screen? I think your son
how
is
about Anton Carr and Cliff Livingston from Wichita State?
Antoine Carr and Cliff. Wow. What about Isaiah Zeke Thomas? You played against Isaiah?
Isaiah Thomas. What school did he go to?
Indiana. We talking about Isaiah from Detroit Pistons. Did you play against him?
No. Isaiah Thomas? No.
Okay. Okay. All right.
No, never played
Said
against
Earl
Isaiah.
Belcher. Earl Belcher went to Christian Brothers Academy in
He was,
Syracuse.
yeah, he was very, very good. Very good.
My guy CK, my upstate connect. Okay. All right. All right. So now, without including yourself, who are the top 5 players in Long Island history?
Wow. You got to go with Dr. J. Um, Probably Mitch Kupchak.
Forgot about Miss Kupchak. That's right.
Um, Jeff Rulin. I'll put Jeff up there.
Tough.
And see, I'm old, so I know some of the old school players out there. You know, there was a guy by the name of Foots Walker from Southampton, played in the league for like 14 years. He was incredible. Let's see. How many more I got? 2?
You got one more.
One more?
You said Dr. J, Jeff Rulin, Miss Kupchak, Foots Walker. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
one more.
I mean, you got to put a guy like Toby Knight up there. So, and listen, no disrespect to anyone else. There's so many great players that, if you ask me for 40, I could give you 40 names.
Yeah, Billy Donovan, you can go on for days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people forget about Billy Donovan. I tell people Billy Donovan from Long Island, New York, and they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, nah,
Yeah.
the truth.
Yep.
Wow. Man, this has been fun, man. This has been fun. This has been awesome. Okay, he said I got some more. He said Earl Belcher was originally from Queens but moved to Syracuse as a kid.
Yep.
Wow. From Port Jefferson High School.
Yep. He could play, boy.
Wow. Well, listen, it was wonderful having you on the show. I appreciate you joining me, and thank you for taking your time. And I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving with your family and everything of that nature. I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving, and thankful that we get another a day to be on this earth and spread some joy with our family and loved ones and friends. So I want to say thank you, Mr. Hamilton. Appreciate you for joining me tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I've got a lot of history. I've learned some things about you. Even though you still won't say that you're better than Kev, but that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. Nah, but I will say thank you. Keep doing great things. And, my line is always open. You got anybody that you want to refer, make that Jeff Rulin thing happen, and anybody else from Long Island that story needs to be told, please. Appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Chris. Appreciate you. Kev said, Keith Hamilton came up there. What up, Keith? He said, Pops had 12 points, all jumpers. 12, he said, tough task guarding the Cavs.
Yeah.
Still got it, Pops.
But on that note, I appreciate you. This is such a great platform. Thank you so much. and all my boys are better than me, so I appreciate them too.
That's it. They can all come on. We'll have one on each month, man. We'll celebrate them. All right, just like that. All right.
Thank you so much.
No doubt. And look, hey, if Sophia ever want to come on the platform to announce what school she's going to, she's always welcome.
I look forward to that.
All right. Take care.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Look, another great show. We got another one in the books. Listen, man, it's nothing like legacy, right? Family legacy. It's nothing like having that talk about basketball and passing it down to your kids and your grandkids and the generation after that. Kevin Hamilton Sr. was able to do that with all his kids and done a lot of great things inside of basketball and outside of basketball. Remember, it's about the transitions in your life, right? Because we only can play basketball for a short period of time, and it goes like that. So enjoy the moment, because you never know when it might be over. And look, even though the ball start bouncing, you can still do things inside of basketball to have an impact. All right? So I'd like to thank everyone for being involved tonight. Thank you to the whole Hamilton family. Thank you to all my true basketball heads for joining the show. And if you haven't, please subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. Make it all worth it. It's how we keep it going. And another great show. Y'all know what it is. Glenpool Harding, Basketball Heads, the official home for New York City basketball. Peace.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online. Buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.